The time for picking up your first harvest is the dearest time of all. I'm lucky to enjoy the first harvest so early this year, all due to the early spring and generous weather. In fact, this year I broke a good portion of my personal record in terms of picking up the harvest. For example, I started enjoying strawberries late in May and the beginning of June instead of the mid of June as usual. I remember a couple of years ago, I was pleading help from all of you to suggest a good variety of strawberries since I don't remember when was the last time I gathered a good amount of them. But this year I was lucky because I paid attention to the strawberries and provided them with what they wanted. I noticed that sawdust contributed to a good portion of this success, as it improved the quality of the soil. Before that, the patch of strawberries was with a very tough soil, and sawdust made the soil loose, which allowed the strawberries to grow enormous bushes. I even broke a record in terms of the heaviest strawberry I've ever picked, which was around and even more than 50 grams per each. Believe it or not, but I didn't use any fertilizers, apart from sawdust and ash. I tasted lots of fresh strawberries during this period of time. As well as I was delighted to prepare my strawberry jam. I think it was 2 years ago when I ate the last jar of strawberry jam and never had the opportunity to have them for a while. And I'm grateful that this year brought me that many strawberries to be able to prepare the jam. I'm going to pick up the Chinese cabbage. I believe my mum planted them in the beginning of April, so they are ready to be picked. And I'm going to see what they managed to grow during this period of time. That's actually a nice one. So it is definitely worth planting them in the beginning of April because they love the polytunnel, they love the place, and you basically that's the beginning of June, and I'm going to taste my first Chinese cabbage, which is of, I think, an enormous size. That's the second one, which I suppose is identical. I think they are going to be in the same weight category. And there is another one to be picked, which is going to be a bit smaller. That's a nice harvest, you know. If I planted a lot more, I would definitely get more of the heads, but I didn't like, that was the experiment, nothing more. And now I'm going to get the first harvest of cucumbers. The first cucumber I gathered, that was on the 30th of May, which was obviously a record breaker for me. And now there are some to pick. That is the biggest one. And others are going to be of this size. And I've got a handful of cucumbers. That is the beginning of June. Aren't they nice? And they're growing, they continue growing. And now it's time for the radish, which is in plenty right now too. And they grew to this incredible big size because it's the rainy season, and obviously they contribute a lot from the growth. I hope that they are not going to be bitter, because they tend to be a bit bitter when they grow that much. That's like a bouquet of radish. And it started cracking, you know, because of this whole wet weather. They are supposed to form the heads, but I just can't wait, and I want to pick some of them for the salad. And others, I'm going to leave them like this. Right now they grow like crazy because of the wet season. I think a couple of them would do. The season of strawberries is actually ending, but still we've got some berries to taste. I have already prepared strawberry jam, which I was really excited about, since I love different jams, especially like eating them during winter. And right now the berries aren't as big as they were in the very beginning, but they are very delightful. And I would even say like they are full of aroma and of this rich strawberry taste, which everyone like seeks when buying strawberries. And it's actually very hard to find this strawberry taste, as sometimes they are a bit watery in a way. Whoa, that's a nice bunch. And like, look at that. That's only the half of the patch. I'm going to get to the second one